What?
No, I was giggling because of what we were talking about before you got here. Me and my YouTubing last night.
Oh,
till
Lord.
4 in the morning.
Cat videos?
No, I was watching. So I started off with music, then went to comedians, and then so we watched the because Jane wanted to watch the Spoopy video again.
Is there even a video on that?
No, it's his name. It's a white screen with his name on it. But
oh yeah, I've seen that a million times.
You know what we're talking about? You got to look it up. it's freaking it's hilarious. And then so she goes to bed, and I kept watching videos because I was enjoying some adult beverages.
Adult videos? Oh, adult beverages.
Beverages.
Okay.
And I started watching movie clips, and all of a sudden, because a little drunk, I was like, "This would be good on a podcast." I started texting myself, watching The Last Dragon. I'm like, "Get him, Bruce Leroy! Get him!" Sorry, I didn't mean to be that loud. Yeah. Then I went to lightsaber colors and all.
Oh,
and
God.
I was like, I woke up this morning. I was like, why did I text myself?
Why did I order a $900 lightsaber?
I'd get divorced if that happened. I learned that lesson a long time ago. Don't.
Would you be entertained for like the first year afterwards? Though?
I would, especially if it changed colors. Like it was like one of the mood rings, but it's a lightsaber.
Welcome to the Washdown podcast. I'm
awesome
your
being
host, Jeremy Green. With me is my co-host, Chris Nelson.
Luke Skywalker.
Thank you. That is awesome.
Obi-Wan Phoebe. And our producer, James Moran.
I got to come out in front of the camera today.
Does that make him the emperor because he's never on screen very often?
I'm just pulling on the strings behind the scenes.
Sure.
Freaking Chewbacca over here.
That's all I hear when he says. That's just all I hear from him.
Hand shot first.
Greedo shot first. I don't think.
Hey, man.
Greedo at least drew first. He made the move.
Well, he twitched.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
And I was watching that too. I was watching a whole bunch of clips from Tombstone because who doesn't love Tombstone?
I'll be a Huckleberry.
That's right. Oh, Johnny Ringo. He wasn't fast enough. He was no Daisy.
Oh. So today we're going to talk about a serious topic.
After all that giggling.
All that giggling.
Man.
Why the original Star Wars are better than all of the other ones?
I mean, dude, you can't cover that in an hour podcast.
You can cover it in 5 minutes. They are. Done deal. Stop arguing about it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to list stuff out, you couldn't do it in...
I do like the lightsaber battles in episodes 1, 2, and 3. Like they were better.
Okay, that's fair.
CGI is better.
Yeah, but everything was created. All that CGI from the originals was created for the movie.
I've seen the
Bunch of
documentary
geniuses.
a million times.
It's 4 hours that you will never waste of your life.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus, by the way. I don't know if you know that because I've watched it like 3 times.
No, I have the DVD box set of the originals.
What's a DVD?
Exactly.
I'm surprised you didn't say you have a beta. I bet you still got a Betamax, don't you?
No, but I had one growing up.
I still have the double VHS of Titanic.
I did. I got rid of all
And double
stuff.
VHS of Lord of the Rings.
Well, I have all the DVDs of Lord of the Rings.
Nerd.
Hey, dude.
I donated all of my DVDs and Blu-rays because we went to the streaming. But I bought. So I had to buy a lot of those movies. I didn't have to buy again. You just had to upload them to your streaming service.
Yeah.
Well, did you get the little, like you download it? You could download it when you. Yeah, that's what I
We
always
did that a lot, but
Yeah. So we're talking about...
movies.
Yeah, no. You guys are trying to avoid the conversation because basically you're afraid of what I'm going to say.
I don't know if I'm afraid of what you're going to say. It's just the crying part.
The crying part?
Yeah, you just sound like a whiner here in a minute.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out.
I don't have any boo-boo Band-Aids here right now.
Well,
What are we talking about?
we're going to talk about the stigma of mental health in the fire service.
Oh,
and
well,
how
did
it's
you see
viewed.
March Madness is coming back, though?
Yeah, with limited fans.
Yeah, but still, it's better than this topic.
I'm having a hard time watching basketball right now.
I have a hard time watching any sports right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, we can laugh and joke all we want, but here's the thing. It's a real issue. We have had multiple suicides in our area in the past few weeks with firefighters, police officers. There's obviously a problem.
Those are the ones we know about.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could even throw veterans in there, too.
Yeah. Well, the one guy was a veteran who was, but
like I said, those are the ones we know about, the ones that don't get reported
on
the news that
so
you don't know.
Why do people in our line of work and as cops and nurses and whatever, why is it such a big stigma and looked down upon if you seek help for mental health?
Something I've noticed, it's kind of like concussions in the National Football League. We didn't know anything about it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, concussions. I've seen a similar trend with mental health. We didn't really address it. There was a real bad stigma of like, you just don't talk about it. And then we started to kind of wake up a little bit. And then we went up. And, we saw increases on good things. And we started to talk about it more. But with human nature, the more awareness and more light that came to it, came the abusers. And now not only is there still that lingering stigma with we just don't talk about it, now there's a stigma of I don't want to look like that person who has a terrible reputation for lying or abusing or hiding behind it when it's not real.
Right. Or if I come out and say, hey, man, I've been having a problem, I'm seeing a therapist. Okay, so now in my mind, is he going to trust me the next time we go into a fire to have his back?
Yeah.
And that's a very real fear. And I mean, if you're a cop and you tell your partner, hey, man, I've been having an issue. So now you're worried that guy's worried that you're not going to have his back or her back or whatever, in a crucial situation.
I think you take that a step further, too, is if you say something to your partner, it comes with police officers and I think even firefighters, because, we are Americans and guns are a part of our culture. Do I have to worry about my partner not coming to work tomorrow? Is he suicidal? Do I need to step in? Because people will go to the extreme in their thought process.
For as much shit as we deal with on a daily basis at work, it's amazing how non-confrontational we are when it comes to ourselves. Let's just do whatever's easiest to get through this shift and not, if we're cops, you and I are cops, we're together in the car, we probably need to have that conversation. Hey, man, not doing too well. That's an awkward-ass conversation to have, and it's probably not going to be fun. Or we can just turn up the radio and talk about our college days at the strip club and move on.
Or on the other side of it, it's, hey, man, I've noticed that you've been having problems lately. Seems like that to me. Is there something you need to talk about? We don't do that. Or if we do, it's on a very superficial level.
Or
aren't we our brother's keepers?
Or God forbid, we try to talk about you and wind up talking about me.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
Yeah. But I mean, aren't we supposed to be looking out for each other?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we not? And why is there such a huge stigma? It's like, okay, I care about my guys. Okay. Well, that guy's a drunk. That guy's got a pill problem. That guy's going through his second divorce. Mm-hmm. And what are you doing?
To an extent.
I think you also have to be careful about what you do as, a leader. And I'm not saying so much as rank, because anybody can be a leader. Rank doesn't matter. But it's put you in a very tough place to say something. Because now what if, you want to get them help, so you're going to try, but you don't want help. And you turn it back on me, and now I'm in trouble because I try to do something. You know what I mean? Because I didn't follow the right steps and all that. And I know I didn't explain that right, but
yeah, no, I get where you're going with that.
It's just a liability, and it goes both ways.
Yeah,
No,
but also, like what he just said, it goes both ways. Of that you have a guy who has a problem, on your crew and you're doing nothing about it. So not only are you not helping that guy, you're putting the rest of your crew in danger.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But
So-
it's hard to help somebody who doesn't want to get the help, and you can't make them realize
Right.
they need to. You can bring it up all you want, but now what's going to happen with that conversation?
You know, that can even take us into a whole new world with addicts, especially.
Yeah.
It takes one addict to burn somebody out on trying to help addicts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's having been down that road, like having a friend. You know, I'm sure you, Jeremy, I know you have your situation too, and Chris, I know you've probably been with them. Having one friend that just burned me constantly and constantly and constantly and constantly. At some point, you just say screw it.
Yeah.
And then there's that stigma to it where it's like, that guy needs help. He's going through a battle. I'm not doing it though. And that's
somebody else's
No,
problem.
and I get exactly what you're saying because I've had friends like that in the past. I've had family members like that in the past, and got to the point where I threw up my hands and said, I don't know what else I can do. So, and I get that that's human nature. But where's that point? When do you stop trying, especially in a career field like ours, where it's always brotherhood, you know?
I don't think you can stop trying. That's the thing.
And that's the point I'm trying to make.
It's hard for us, one, to start trying to help somebody. I mean, like James said, it's an awkward conversation.
It absolutely is.
Now, we've been friends long enough to where I know I can come to your house and say what needs to be said, but it's a different relationship there than what I have with James. And not that I don't care.
no,
It's just we have a completely different dynamic than what Jeremy and I have because we've been friends for so long.
yeah.
We've been through a lot of stuff.
Something I've noticed is, and especially, you know, in the fire, just in public service in general. Hey, if you ever need anything, give me a call. Hey, you know, there's always this blanket like thing we say, hey, be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you need anything, give me a call. Mm-hmm. But do we ever really break it down of like, if we actually mean it, or is it just almost habit of saying it? And then, you know, hey, if you need anything, give me a call. And we are in the fire service, and this is fantastic. There's not a knock against it. When guys are hurt or something like that, groceries are taken care of, lawns are taken care of, you know, all the physical things that we know how to do. We're fixers. Let's physically fix things. That's our nature. That's easy. But we never say like, how are you actually doing? What do you actually need? And that's I don't know why we do it, other than we just don't know how. So
I can tell you, for me, when I say be safe, I do mean that. When I say call me, like somebody's hurt or we've had guys that have had COVID,
Yeah.
I wasn't joking. If
Yeah.
you need me to run to the store, I'll run to the store. I don't like going to the store. My wife gets mad at me because I won't go to the store with her, and I hate going,
So,
but I will do it.
But here's the point that I'm trying to make is and I'm speaking in generalities because I'm sure not everybody feels this way, but by and large, most people, even though you say that and you mean it, most people don't feel like they can make that call.
Yeah.
Because if they ask for help, be it like you're talking about with an injury or something like that, or with a mental health issue, now they're looked down on.
there are probably 300 or 400 guys on this job that I could call right now and have me come help move a couch. There are maybe 3 or 4 that I could call at 3 in the morning to come take my guns if I was feeling suicidal and talk to me about why I was feeling that way. To kind of be equal,
Yeah.
all things considered.
Yeah. Should be. And, you know, that's why we're doing this podcast. Because I want to know why it's not. What the problem is. Because, you know, here's the
I want to know how
thing.
to change it.
Do what?
I want to know how to change it.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned with the why at this point. I want it to change, and I don't have the answer.
No, I
know
don't think.
that. I couldn't even begin to create the answer, and this might be a good first step. But
Well,
A good friend of mine that's our medical director uses the word multifactorial. And when she first always said it, I hated her for it because I'm like, just give me an answer, woman. But she's 100% right.
Well, yeah, and I think there is a ton of factors. It's not just, I don't think there's one overall blanket solution. I mean, there has to be a culture shift for sure. Where does that start? Does that start with us sitting at this table and how we act at our stations and how we train the new guys coming up?
Isn't that how all culture shifts start, with the group of people sitting around a table and
Yeah.
like, hey, this needs to change?
Yeah.
I mean, look at back early 1900s. Where do you think women getting the right to vote started? I mean, it's where it started was like, this ain't right. We need to change this.
And it was not an easy battle.
It was an uphill battle the whole time.
Yeah.
Everything starts at a table with an idea.
One of the things I do want to kind of dive in a little more, and when I first brought it up back at the beginning of this episode, is the abusers of this are killing us.
Well, and we've had that with modified duty, guys pretending or, oh, I'm hurt, so I'm going to take the year off. And then we all know they're faking.
Well, and this is municipalities across the board are seeing this. When it comes to like medical pensions on jobs, somebody breaks their leg and they can't walk again. It's a very objective injury. Mm-hmm. They can't walk. Look at them not walk.
Yeah.
Medical
that would
pension.
Be sitting.
But
or possibly laying down. I don't know.
But when it comes to mental health, it is very subjective. And it's, municipalities are struggling with this now. Do we put this person off on a medical pension and open up Pandora's box? Because if they do that, there's a lot of people in fire and EMS and nursing that have seen the same things this guy saw. You could open up Pandora's box with that.
And
or
same thing with PD. That's not even nationwide; it's worldwide.
Yeah.
And I don't know how other people's jobs work, because I've never done those jobs as far as getting a pension or a medical disability or whatever. But no, I mean you're right, because you can't just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
And everybody processes it and handles it differently.
I think to make James' point is there are people who are going to abuse the system no matter what system it is or no matter what it is.
There are those people out there.
There are those people out there. And
that's in every line of work, though.
With mental health, it's a lot harder to discern who's abusing and who legitimately has the issue.
It's like treating pain, from a medical perspective, like what may be a 2 out of 10 to some person is an 8 out of 10 to the next person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing with trauma. You know that as well as I do, that me and you can see the same thing and it affects us totally differently. So
I see the Green Bay Packers and I see garbage and he sees hope. So there's that.
Really?
It's just an example.
But that is the worst example ever.
And I think it's the best example. See, listeners, there we go. It's all about difference of opinion.
At least my team didn't get beat by Tom Brady in the Super Bowl
at
by
least
30 freaking points.
At least our team made it to the Super Bowl.
Didn't they lose at home, though, to Tom Brady?
Shut up. And I knew they were going to lose that game. I called it before the playoffs even started. I said, I do not want to see Tampa Bay at Lambeau Field. What did I get? Tampa Bay at Lambeau Field. What did I also get?
A loss.
Green Bay's second worst game of the season. Their first worst game was when they played at Tampa.
I'd almost be interested, though, to
it was rigged.
Talk to a health insurance adjuster or whatever they're called and just hear how the process is going about these issues. It's got to be a daunting task.
Well, so yeah. You wanted me to whine and cry. Here we go. So as far as health insurance goes, the people that decide what medical treatment you get are not doctors. They are people who sit in a dang cubicle. They have no medical training, and they don't know. They have a little chart that someone else made up for them. Oh, well, this says they should get this treatment. They have no idea. So I think talking to somebody like that would be less than useless.
And here's another factor of the many of thousands into mental health. Just access to it. And the pain in the ass as it is. Like, hey, I need this. I know you may need it, but you're only getting this.
Well, yeah. I mean, from, talking to Bart, about all of his issues and going through the VA and all of that. I mean, that's a travesty.
Yeah.
What they do to those guys. And
guys
how
come in
long they
asking
make
for
them
pickups
wait.
and they get Priuses. Like, seriously.
Yeah. So for the layperson or for even one of us, like making an appointment for mental health, to go see a therapist or a counselor or whatever, yeah, that can be a pain because usually there's long wait times because, let's face it, there's not enough of them. They're overworked.
And there's even fewer good ones.
Yeah, and they're underpaid. And, I watch a lot of podcasts and a lot of people that I respect, from what I've seen of them on their show, but in certain issues, I disagree with them whenever they talk about cultural competency and how it's not really that big of a deal. It's a huge deal. Now, maybe for them it's not, but I know for 90% of the people that are in our line of work that whenever they go to a therapist, they want somebody who understands us. And whenever you go to a therapist who has no clue about what we do and kind of how our lifestyle and all of that stuff is, you're not going to end up getting a good result.
Yeah.
That's like trying to play football with a baseball bat.
I don't walk into a house getting remodeled and tell a carpenter what to do because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
But where there's not long wait times? The bar.
That's true.
And
Depends which bar you go to.
That's true.
And if it's happy hour or not.
That's true. And I also never walk out of the... I mostly never walk out of the bar crying or sad, like I do in therapy sometimes.
Yeah. But whenever you wake up the next morning, all those things that sent you to the bar, they're still there.
Oh, so are all the things that I consumed at the bar. They're also still there.
Yeah. Well, they're being expelled rapidly.
But in all seriousness, that's a problem. Like, we're like, the bar is a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I can, compared on what maybe my copay is, I could probably have just as good a time. But the quick, easy solutions are so much, hell, going back to our episode on relationships, it's so much easier just to probably file a divorce and walk away from this person that's challenging me than actually be challenged. If that's the situation, it's...
Well, look, man, and I've said it a million times. Quick and easy is never going to build personal growth. It's not going to build your integrity. It's not going to build anything. It's not going to build your muscles. It's nothing.
Is that a cheap shot? I feel like that's a cheap shot.
No. Quick and easy obviously has worked well for you, McDonald's. So, but the things that you actually grow from and get better doing are the hard things. That's why, if you are going to be a Navy SEAL, you go to BUDS. It's hard. They've had the same standard for years and years and years. And guess what? If you don't pass that standard, you're out. But whenever you do pass that standard, you have grown. Same thing with Ranger School. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have that in the fire service. And we don't have that in general in life because people will see that type of stuff and they'll go, that's hard, like you just said. This is easy. I'm going to go do the easy. Okay, well.
I don't know how many times I've heard the term, it's a kinder, softer fire department now. No. Actually, it's not. Because we aren't addressing the hard things for growth.
No, we don't. And we are busier than we have ever been.
Nationwide.
Call volume is probably what would you say, triple, quadruple than when we came on?
Yeah, it's about that
In
ballpark.
16, close to 17 years. Call volume nationwide.
At least doubled, and that's bad enough.
Yeah. I know that I probably told you, I saw the news article on that fire station in downtown Los Angeles. And they ran like 15,000 calls in 1 year.
Oh, is that Station 9 down Skid Row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that is not sustainable. I don't care who you are and how much of a smoke eater you are and how much of an old salt and all this. That's not sustainable. For one, we know what lack of sleep does to your mental health. You could be the most fit mental person and have the strongest mind ever. You go do that for a year, you're going to have issues. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the one thing that I did see on that news article is I noticed whenever I was watching all of the firefighters, I was looking at them, all of them, very young. There weren't any old guys down there. Wonder why that is.
You recover better when you're younger from lack of sleep.
Yeah, in the short term.
Yeah, in the short term. I'm not saying it's, like you said, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
But, I've noticed that it takes me longer to recover after a busy night now than it did even 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm not quite 40 yet. I'm there. I can see the door. Mm-hmm. But I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's.
I don't mind being busy or running, and I don't mind being busy at all.
No, but that's what we all want. We all want to be busy. We all want to run. My point is that there is a limit, and there are things that you have to do to make sure that you don't hit that limit. Mm-hmm. You have to take care of yourself. Now, whether that's using your coping skills, which everybody loves to say.
Bar.
Yeah, that. I can tell you exactly where that'll get you.
Drunk.
Yeah. Or, whatever it is that you need to do that's healthy. Because if you don't take care of yourself, eventually those problems will come out.
But even if you're, I know Jim's making a joke, but going to the bar all the time or drinking all the time, yeah, it's going to help you for that moment. But then what happens after you've been doing that for 20, 25 years? Your liver and kidneys can't take that abuse.
No.
So now you start having big medical issues on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Which now your mental health is going to get even worse because now you're worried about this stuff that maybe they can fix, maybe they can't. Depends on how deep down the rabbit hole you got.
Yeah. Well, and how many marriages have you ruined?
Friendships.
Friendships. Do you still talk to your kids?
That's a big one.
That's all stuff that people need to think about because it's a cascading effect. Mm-hmm. It's like we've talked about. The very last thing that will suffer for people like us is the job. Because we will do what we need to do to show up and do the job. Now our marriages, our kids, life outside of work.
It can take a beating, and it does in some people.
How many firemen do you know that are still on their first marriage and are happy and don't have a girlfriend?
I don't know, maybe a quarter. I mean, like realistically speaking.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter, maybe a third.
And it's not exclusive to the fire service. Mm-mm. It's cops. It's military, especially the special operations community. I mean, these type of jobs, they all have things that kind of bind them together in common denominators.
And then we're idiots and think that marrying each other will solve the problem.
Yeah. Because what's better than one complainer? Two.
Surely all my problems won't be mirrored in their problems as well. They won't double.
No. So, but I mean, that's the type of stuff that, we need to be thinking about. And, as a community, we shouldn't want the younger people that are coming in to our community to have those same problems and the same behaviors that we had, because we know where it leads.
What was the year? I used to hear it from an old captain. Was always leave the job better than you found it.
Yeah.
And I think talking about mental health is a good start.
My grandpa used to say that when I was a kid. Now, usually it was in reference to
Clean your room.
cleaning my room. And, that was what he would say when he found all my shit under my bed. But it was, I will say, though, I hated that up until, I don't know, probably I was 22 years old. But then I started to finally just see it in fruition more and understand it. And
It's a true statement.
yeah,
You should always try and leave wherever you go better than what you found it.
Yeah.
At least strive for it. I mean, you're going to fail at times.
Yeah, well,
It's part of being human.
my dad always used to say the same thing. Whenever we'd be out in the woods, he'd be picking up sticks across the trail or doing this or doing that. But that was one of his things. I didn't pay attention to it then, really.
No, you didn't really understand it, though, when you were a kid. And all those sayings that our parents said when we were kids that you end up saying to your kids because you figured it out.
So what's that?
I've done it a lot.
Is it the progressive? Is it the progressive commercial, where he's like, "Don't become your parents," and that guy just walks around?
Yeah.
He's like, "We all
No
the
fussing, no cussing.
My favorite one's the one with the blue hair, where he's like, "We all see it. We all see it." Bloop.
I like the newest one where they've got the no cussing, no fussing. And he just takes it and throws it away.
Yeah. My favorite one is the pillows on the couch.
Oh,
And he just grabs them all off and throws them.
You've got nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
Mine's where he's backing the car out, and the guy's like, "You don't know them. You don't know." I'm like, "Oh, that's so me." Oh.
I feel like that on every Jeep trip. It's like, nobody wants me out here spotting, but I'm doing it anyway, and I don't know why.
But you talk about the pillows on the couch. It's actually a pretty good analogy for mental health, because you keep stacking, and eventually.
It looks great on the outside.
I'm talking about problems, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're stacking these problems, inside. Like Jeremy does the cardboard box. But look at the couch way. So now you have nowhere to sit, and you can't stack any more on it because everything's come toppling down.
Yeah.
So you got to start checking pillows. Got to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, or you just throw more pillows on it and let it fall down. And then pretend that it didn't fall down.
I hate decorative pillows.
Me too.
We laugh when we say leave the job better than we found it. The problem is with this job, this might be the hardest job to do it. Because what are the two things firefighters hate with a passion? Change and the way things are.
Yeah. We don't want anything to change, but we hate how they are now.
Yeah. This is literally the definition of, hey, will you do me a favor and fit this square peg in that round hole? All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky. I've had pretty good captains, really good captains most of my career. I mean, I've never had a bad one. But I always take something from each of them, and that works for me. But those lessons are that I believe is that some of those captains left the job better because of what they've taught the young firefighters. And I include myself in that too. Then you take those and you pass it on to the other ones. So you just keep passing the good information on. And that's how you're going to leave it better. And eventually, you're going to see that culture change. Because it's changed. It's changed since we came on.
Yeah.
Not everything that changes is a good thing, but...
Well, I think it's...
The problem with us is trial and error.
That's what it is.
That's the nature
you
of our job.
Well, and patience.
And that's hard with mental health. You can maybe get by with that with learning how to cut apart a car or, learning a SWAT team exercise or running a trauma in an ER. With mental health, Error is death.
Yeah. Well, there's no margin for error. I mean, we're failing. The point blank, we're failing. Will we ever be 100% across the board good?
I think we're
probably
failing.
not.
It's not just that the fire department or the police department is failing. It's a nation.
Oh, absolutely. Society in general.
Problem is, it's just exacerbated in our careers.
Yeah.
Just more prevalent.
And it's not just our careers or careers of service members or first responders. It's any career that's stressful. And stress is different for different people.
Well, yeah, because even what do we not want to hear? We do not want to hear about
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yes, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
That goes back to a previous conversation we had and somebody complaining about words that are said.
Still not a Packers fan.
I'm not a Packers fan either.
I know that's like I can handle that one.
Hey, they're everybody's second favorite team.
To hate, but yeah, in society nationwide, like there's so many different like sects and cliques. Like nobody in first responders or healthcare want to hear about a banker bitch about how stressful their job is. That stress may be real to them, and they may be struggling with a lot of things.
It's just a different kind
We
of
just don't want to hear about it, and that's not how it should be. Unfortunately, like
it's different.
Yeah, it's just different, and we need to like we are our own worst enemies in that aspect because we need to be open to listen to all of it.
Yeah. Well, it's also perception, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier of everything affects everybody differently. And but that comes along with cultural competency, like that counselors need to have, and it's not only about career fields. Like we had my wife on the show the other day, and in talking to her and talking about the show, and before we came on, I was asking her about cultural competency and things like that, and she told me that even in school that they do talk about cultural competency, but it is and it actually is culturally. So like if they're going to deal with this indigenous culture or this foreign whatever,
that religion or whatever.
Yeah. So there are things that they have to know to be able to deal with those people. That's no different for us whenever they come and work with us.
It was one of the most interesting dynamics when it comes to like true cultural competencies I've ever seen. Was I worked at a jail. It was all right. Job sucked. People were fun. But one of the most interesting dynamics I've ever seen are African men around African American women. They are the same and they are polar opposite. And it was one of the greatest daily battles I've ever watched. It was fascinating. But like it was just there was no back and forth. There was no cultural understanding of, and that's just even that's even another factor in this. Like on top of all the things we're going on now too, there is there's people on the job that are Catholics or Muslims, and even our own religions or things that we buy into have different views of mental health that a lot of times hinder it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And
well, and that's the thing, because I was talking to Rachel today, and we were talking about this topic. And I was like, well, what do you think about, whenever you have people come in and that's a concern for them is, hey, it might be this or that or whatever. Does that affect their therapy, or their healing process or, of them, getting better? She's like, yeah, absolutely. It has to. Because there's always that roadblock, because let's face it, you're not really healing if you're ashamed of what you're doing to heal, or you feel like you should be ashamed, or you're scared to tell somebody, hey, I'm seeing a therapist and now I'm worried that this person doesn't trust me, so I'm not going to say anything.
Or you're just not bought in general because maybe you have to be there due to disciplinary or your wife dragged you to it or, something like that. I think the thing that infuriates me the most, and I've been thinking about this, and damn it, it really pisses me off, is you would think,
Say grinds my gears.
I just think of Peter from Family Guy.
Exactly.
Oh, really grinds my gears. Anyway.
That was terrible.
Is you would think, like, enough people have killed themselves that we would maybe figure it out by now. Even in society, how many?
Let me tell you something, James. Those people were weak and didn't need to be on the job anyway.
Not even on just.
I don't agree with that.
I've heard it.
I've heard it. I've absolutely, and that's part of the problem. That's why we're doing this episode. It's because of people that say things like that.
I've never heard somebody say that.
I've heard it.
And I honestly might, if I heard that, I'd lose my temper.
I didn't hear it on this job. I heard it about a law enforcement officer. And I did lose my temper, not temperature. But even going back to like recognition of society, hell, you would have thought when Robin Williams killed himself, we would have maybe one of the most lovable men on the planet. You'd have thought we'd have been like, well, let's pump the brakes on this and maybe figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
No, we talked about it for a month and then back to our same old shit.
Yeah. Because it's not, this is my own take on it. I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before.
Green Bay Packers.
Whatever. You guys are going to beat that to death.
Like Brady beat you to death.
Yeah.
Dude. We lost to him too.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about the Packers.
Don't throw that stone.
Here's the thing with, it's not a problem that is in your face so much. Like, oh, hey, we have a serious problem of everybody's breaking their leg. Let's fix that step so nobody else breaks their leg, right? Mm-hmm. We don't do that with mental health. And I don't know what it's going to take for our society to get on board and maybe start looking at some solutions. Maybe it'll take, our wonderful mass media to drive their narrative, and that would be part of it. But I don't know.
I love turning on the news and seeing death.
Well, then that's all it is.
Corruption, death.
Yeah, because that's what drives ratings.
Puppies, death.
I do miss the days when had a lot of good news stories.
Yeah, when they actually reported the news instead of put their spin on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. But
you can't find that
that's
anymore.
the thing. So like they'll talk about. So let's kind of not shift gears, but you know what I mean. So we're talking about mental health. How many homeless people have a mental health issue, and that's why they're homeless?
90%.
Yeah, I'd say fair to say most.
Yeah, fair to say most. But that's an issue. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere.
When's the last time you took your medication? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, there are whole tent cities in downtown Los Angeles, all over San Francisco, Seattle, Portland. All of these major cities have tent cities. We have it here. It's an issue. That is not something that is being they will say, oh, well, we have a homelessness issue, or we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. How about we fix the problem that caused these people to be homeless in the first place?
How do you make somebody get help who doesn't want it?
It's fascinating. Like, they're like, oh, here's a naked guy dancing on the street, so you got to wrestle with this naked guy, and you take him to the hospital, and you're like, yeah, he's probably on PCP. And they're like, no, his talk screen was clear. And you're like, oh, he's just crazy. Cool.
Right. That's because his talk screen didn't need to be clear. He needed to be on his meds.
Yeah.
Like the one swimming in the crosswalk.
Yeah. But so what's the solution to that?
I don't mean to laugh, but that's not funny.
Relocation. Sorry. No, I don't know.
A bus ticket to somewhere warmer. There you go.
St. Louis, it's your problem. Yeah.
I was thinking more L.A.
Sorry to our listeners in St. Louis, but we're not actually sorry. We don't like you as a city. Yeah.
That James is speaking for himself. I don't mind saying Louis.
I actually agree, but whatever. It's fine.
Your pizza's trash. Your barbecue's trash. The arch is overrated.
Wow, you got a lot of hate in your heart, man.
I should probably see somebody about it.
You need a hug? Jeremy gave you a hug. He's got longer arms to get around you.
But
that's pot kettle.
Tell you what. When I tried to give him that vest the other day, he went.
It's gonna work out, okay? My mom says I'm hefty.
How many ounces is a double quarter pounder or what was that? Is that a double quarter pounder from McDonald's?
Yeah.
How many ounces is that?
Dude, listen. I don't eat fast food that much anymore. Okay?
All right.
That was my New Year's resolution.
From
That was
whatever.
your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, stop eating like poo-poo.
Oh, how's that going?
Lost 15 pounds.
Good
Good
tell.
job, man.
Tough.
That's for the Packers jokes.
Okay. And see, listeners, that's what happens when your friends don't pay attention. Things slip through the cracks, like mental health.
He's still wearing bulky clothing.
That's true. It is wintertime. In my defense, it's wintertime. You wear sweatshirts all the time.
I'm always cold. Always.
Oh,
Always. It's 90 degrees outside. I'm in a hoodie because I'm cold.
okay. That's excessive.
I don't know why, because I'm
Got bad
fat.
circulation, man.
No, I'm circulating great. Well, veins pop up all over the place.
You think maybe the fat pushes down on the veins and the arteries and...
I don't know. Does that happen to you?
No, I'm not that fat. All my fat's in my gut.
Oh, my God.
I'm fat because my wife loves me and she feeds me all the time.
But, you know,
No, she's trying to get that insurance money.
Good for her. I hope she gets it.
interesting subject, though, with our homeless. It's what's the first thing you think of with homeless and mental health? Like, honestly, what's the first thing you think of? What are they missing?
Their meds.
Meds. Not good coping skills.
No.
Just meds.
Yeah. And that's the down again.
Well,
and I'm
that's
guilty
a
of that.
cost thing there as well.
Well,
It doesn't, which doesn't help.
So, but I get the point that he's trying to make. We over medicate.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, a lot of those people, maybe, I don't know.
I'm a proud Ritalin child of the 90s.
Oh, well, then there you go.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Some things have been cleared up now.
Yeah.
He doesn't pay attention. Here's Ritalin.
Yeah.
Oh, now he just doesn't pay attention slower. That's exactly what my childhood was like.
So, but yeah, and that is the thing of, you know, whenever you do go to a therapist or whatever, and let's say they can't fix you right away, oh, well, you need to go see a psychologist, and they'll prescribe you some meds. And, oh, we're going to give you some benzos for your anxiety. And, oh, well, that little anxiety attack that you had, well, that's going to be nothing compared to the ones that you're going to have now if you get off of this crap.
And we don't educate. And another factor, like I feel like every time like a factor pops up, like we should have like a little sound effect. Like,
Yeah.
like medication. A lot of people, me being myself, like I was on meds. They were SSRIs. I level out, but they still make me feel like crap. I stop taking them, plummet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of, you know, like psychiatric meds aren't always the cheapest. Insurances really like to debate. They'll say, hey, here's Narcan for free, but here's $150 a week for your psych script.
Yeah.
And they don't make you feel necessarily physically great all the time.
No, they don't.
And a lot of people, you know, they get in that serotonin dump where they just take them and they stop taking them, and they take them and they stop taking them. And
Yeah. I think a lot of the problems could be, if not erased, at least abated, you know, or dealt with if you just dealt with them and knew how to deal with them. I mean, speaking for me personally, that was my issue because I self-medicated. I drank a lot. And it didn't help. It made stuff way worse. But I thought I was dealing with it. I'm handling my stuff. I'm just, you know, whatever.
I can drink more than you.
Yeah.
Hold your liquor, sub.
Oh, you stop drinking, you're just a quitter. Ha, ha, ha. You know, but that was the frame of mind that I was in. I was one of those people. Hey, if you don't like what you're seeing or you can't hack it, then go find another job. I was that way until I had an issue.
Yep. And who was around for you? All those guys that were like, hey, man, if you need anything,
Yeah.
give me a call. Hey, I need help. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm in anything else.
Yeah. I can count on one hand the people that were there for me. Now, that could have been because I was a complete and total asshole.
Was?
I'm a nice guy. I've always been nice to you, James.
No, you have not.
I haven't seen it yet.
You don't speak up much quickly either, sir.
Yeah, but I am an asshole.
What was that pot kettle again between you two?
Yeah.
Is that
No.
the frying pan?
Yeah, he's right there with
Skillet.
the rest of the utensils. Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, I was not pleasant to be around. So yeah, for me personally, I don't blame people for not showing up.
Well,
And for the ones that did, I'm eternally grateful.
But you also kind of keep it private too. That's not something you
Yeah,
go around telling everybody. And
Why? Why not?
yeah.
Why not? Why don't you?
I'll tell you why. Ego and shame.
I also don't think if you're, this is my opinion, if you're dealing with something right now and it's brand new and you hit rock bottom, you got to fix yourself before you can really put it out there. Now, everybody's got their close group of friends. I mean, you have friends, but your circle's big of people you know and people you hang out with, you talk to, and then it starts dwindling down. And those are your close friends. And those are the ones you're going to call if something happens. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm
and
waiting to
then-
see where you're going with it.
Then so now you hit rock bottom, you start getting your help, you start taking your baby steps and fixing it. And then you're at a point where you're well enough that you can start telling other people what's going on. Putting your story out there.
I agree with you. I've just never done that way. To me, I've always just been an open book. Like, if you know me, then know me. Like, don't just know whatever's on Facebook or whatever. Don't just know the things I want. Just know me. Because I'd rather you be in my life knowing me than, be in my life and not know all of me, find out something and be like, oh, I'm out. That's just always me. And it fascinates me. You can get in a car wreck, somebody will set up a GoFundMe for you, and money will come pouring in. But say you go to you have to go to the hospital because you had an illness. GoFundMe, money comes coming in. I had to go to the hospital because my brain needs healing. Thoughts and prayers.
Crickets. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, and that's a great point. It's treated, there's a stigma. It's treated totally different. It's like, let's not talk about that. You're less because you had an issue, And that brings us back to why. And how are we going to fix it?
Thanks, Obama.
What does he have to do?
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
I always blame everything. Not that he did anything wrong. I just blame everything on him. It was easy at the time.
Well, that's true.
I just go, thanks, Jimmy Carter.
Oh.
The nicest president we probably ever had. I mean, he likes peanuts.
I just don't remember. I mean, I wasn't alive for him.
Damn it, Lyndon B. Johnson. This is all your fault.
Grover Cleveland, you sucked. I don't know.
Hoover just had to build that dam, and look where we're at.
Yep. Oh.
But that's definitely, even to the viewers and our listeners, hell, message our Facebook page, send our email, all of it's on there. Reach out to one of us. I want to hear other opinions. There are so many different factors to it, and there's so many we didn't even discuss because we don't know. I want to hear what the nurses have to say. What are some of the culture-specific things in healthcare that we just don't know, don't understand, that they want us to hear? What are some of the culture-specific things in law enforcement, in the military? We don't know. Yeah. And that's another big factor, too. We don't know, so we don't know what to look for. We don't know how to address it.
I think you can go a step further in people who aren't in those fields. Because everybody handles stress differently, and stresses are different in every job. But it all leads you to the same spot.
I saw an article that said it was like top 10.
Isn't that funny? That no matter your career field, no matter your stressors, the end result
Is the same.
is the same.
One of the highest suicide, always ranked in the most stressful jobs. And I never understood it because I think it would be fun, but it would also be why I would probably fail at it, would be air traffic controller.
That's extremely stressful.
I would literally just be like, hey, just make it work. Just go over there and let. Oh, what's that big explosion in the sky? Oh, you're doing good there, Jimmy. Just bring her out. Like, I'd mess that up so bad.
Go ahead, buzz the tower. Come on, Maverick. Yeah, sure.
But, I'm sure there are plenty of other people that are like, dude, firefighter's cool. You walk into that burning house, just thinking of all the simple TV things that look fun.
Oh, well yeah.
You're watching TV.
Yeah. Exactly why I think being an aircraft controller would be fun.
So let's put that to bed right now. What you see on TV as far as being a firefighter on all those shows has nothing to do with what it's actually like.
Except for Backdraft.
It was a documentary.
Ladder 49 they did a pretty good job with that one, too.
They did a pretty good job with that one. Yeah.
I might have cried during that one.
Yeah.
But
Backdraft was definitely a documentary.
The TV shows, I mean, they
hinder us. They do.
It's a disservice. It is a direct slap in the face.
You ever watch the reviews on that from the Firefighter Chronicles?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, guys, let's lift this 60-ton truck.
Not only do airbags lift things up, but they slide them back, too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I
took notes. I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you would think they would have some kind of technical advisor, some former fireman over there going, no.
Yeah, but, I mean...
the point, the reason I think they do is because that's just firefighter humor for you. They're like, yeah, stick that IV tubing in for an airway. Great job, guys.
That's exactly how we did it back in my day.
I guarantee you they have a firefighter advisor just based on how stupid some of that stuff is. And he's back there laughing his ass off.
Could be. But, it makes for good TV, though. That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
That's all it is just like because I watched the first couple seasons of Chicago Fire when it first came out. And every call they went on was a once-in-a-career call.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, and that was maybe a once-in-a-career call because you might not ever go on it.
Yeah.
But they were doing it every single shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we can pick on Hollywood all we want, but, I mean, it's all of Hollywood. It's not just specific to shows that deal with fire and EMS. I mean, we have a former captain who, when watching the movie Gamer, got up at one point. That's completely unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
The whole movie is fine, but this one part.
It was when he drank the beer alcohol and then puked it back up in the gas tank and then peed in the gas tank and the car fired up.
Yeah.
That was his brain.
That was the lie. Everything else is fine.
It was the whole, I can get online and control a person.
Yeah.
And see what they see. And I have complete control. That was okay and believable. And then we found the Night of the Chicken Dead.
Oh, God. Don't even say the name of that movie. It was
that
so
movie
bad.
Was awesome.
I could shoot a better movie on my phone with just you as the main actor.
Well, that'd be a great movie.
No.
Anyway.
It'd all be in slow-mo, too.
Everything.
I mean, it'd be normal speed, but I'm moving slow. You ready to run? What? No, I don't run.
I hate running. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, look, we could sit here and we can talk all night. The bottom line is eventually there has to be a culture shift.
You got to do better.
Yeah, we have to do better because what we're doing now is obviously not working. Because if it was working, we wouldn't have the suicides, the addiction, the divorces, all of that stuff.
Some of the divorce thing, though, that's a culture thing. Let's be honest here. Americans are terrible with marriage.
Right.
Social media has not helped at all.
Wait, so if you don't get a joint account,
I'm speaking directly about the fire service.
Slap you.
I'm speaking directly about the fire service because our divorce rate is higher than the national average.
Because we're so
And it always
awesome.
has been. Yeah. Well, and that's the ego part, which leads people to stepping out and doing whatever, and also to the drinking and all of that stuff. And it basically it boils back to mental health and not dealing with your crap. I mean, that's the bottom line. Is as a profession, we are terrible at dealing with our crap. We're also terrible about taking care of each other.
What's that?
Whenever people are going through something, we talked about it. We don't talk to them.
The definition of insanity?
Yeah, doing the same thing over and expecting a different result.
Oh, man, this guy killed himself. We didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this guy killed himself. We didn't see it coming. Oh, look, they killed themselves. Now we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. That's shocking. But yeah, we keep doing. I don't know what we're doing. You know, I don't know, like with us specifically, what is our peer support doing? What is our job doing? What are we doing? And that's even beyond the point, and we don't even need to talk about it because ultimately it boils down to what are the guys at your station doing? What are the guys at my station doing? What are the guys at his station doing? You know, what are we doing to take care of each other? Because ultimately, leadership is going to have a very small role to play in a culture shift of this type.
I've been on this job 4.5 years, so maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can think of, roughly off the top of my head, at least 3 predominant, at least 3 suicides in public service each year. And we're all just as shocked about each one. Mm-hmm. And that's mind-boggling to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's like you said. Oh, we didn't see it coming. Well, if you'd have been paying attention, he had a drinking problem. He had a pill problem.
Jesus said turn the other cheek, but not to mental health.
No. And if we are serious about, you know, being leaders and really caring about the people that we work with, ultimately it's our responsibility to say, hey, man, you're not yourself today. What's going on?
Have the hard conversations. Because guess what? I would rather you hate me than be alive than wonder if you still love me and be dead.
Yeah.
I can deal with you hating me because I'll look at you and be like, well, you're still alive. Like, literally, it's like, what's Dr. Chan or whatever? Where he's like, but did you die? You know,
Chow.
Chow, Dr. Chow, yeah.
He's not a chow. Or not a doctor. He's just chow.
Yeah.
Leslie Chow.
That's how I feel. He's like, but did you die? It's we can joke about it, but that's 100%.
Yeah.
You can hate me. You can cuss me. You can tell all your friends I'm a terrible person. But did you die?
Yeah. But ultimately, if you do step in and talk that person and, you know, it might be a year, 2, 3 years down the road, they're going to come back and thank you. Or maybe they won't. Who knows? But if
They're still there 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
They're still there. And you
I can sleep
played
at night with that.
Yeah. And you played a part of them still being there. And that kid still having a dad or mom or whatever. Because you never know the ripple effects. You know, the person that you help today might be the person that saves your wife tomorrow. Or even more directly, it might be the person that pulls you out of the fire.
Yep.
So,
But a culture shift starts with one person. Any fad that's ever been around started with one person. And then took off from there.
Who brought back bullets? I want to shake his hand.
I want to slap that person in the face.
Perspective.
Yeah.
I wish I could grow a mullet.
My wife wants me to grow a mullet.
Your wife is a very intelligent lady.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening.
I mean, I bet you could grow a mullet quick.
I could. All I'd have to do is cut the top and the sides, and I would have a mullet.
Just do it.
No.
Why?
Then let your beard go.
I had a mullet in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're old.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess it's all in perspective. 41 is old now.
I bet he had a rat tail, too, at one point.
I never had a rat tail.
You're
I had a
liar.
friend of mine that had a rat tail, but I did have a mullet.
It was an imaginary friend.
Well, he's talking about me. 'Cause I had a rat tail.
No. Believe it or not, I had a life before I met you two. I had a whole group of friends before I moved to the city. You guys are If I was such an awful person, you guys wouldn't be here doing this, would you? Well, I guess it's the mission.
I'm just here for the paycheck.
Wait, you're getting paid?
Chris, that was between me and you.
Wait,
I'm getting patches. You didn't know that? He's going to pay for all the repairs.
so you're paying him to be on the show, basically, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. I think we're kind of at that point.
We cycled all the way back to patches. Hell yes, we're at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. I wish
When
I
all
could-
else fails, complain about patches.
Yeah. And you guys were worried about me complaining all night long.
I'm not complaining about it.
No. I mean, you complain. It was bearable tonight.
Oh, well, there you go, folks. You heard it here. I was bearable tonight.
You better end the recording right now before you take it any further.
All right. So this has been the Washdown. Thanks for stopping by. And if you or somebody is having, or someone you know is having a problem, say something. Talk to them. Remember that you are never alone. There's always a way forward. If you need to reach out, our email will be attached. Yeah, just take care of yourself.
I want to touch on what he said earlier again real quick before you close it out. I'm curious of other people's opinions, too. I really want people to chime in and give the opinion on what we talked about today. And if you got an idea, I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Or if you disagree, tell us.
Disagree.
Yeah.
I'm all about disagreements. That's how you learn. That's how you grow.
I tell Jeremy he's wrong every day.
Yeah.
No, I can.
It's not often. So that's why we have a comment section. That's why we have an email, thewashdownpodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, it'll be attached in the description. But I guess for those listening on Spotify, now you have it. Yeah, don't be afraid. Go ahead and send us an email. Put a comment in the video. Whatever. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we're not going to get mad about it,
Yeah.
even if it's something we don't agree with.
Yeah. So till next time, take care of yourself. Take care of those around you.
Love you guys.